Wisdom comes from heaven and is pure, impartial. Careful how you make your judgments. Don't be partial. But it's so easy as human beings to do. You see somebody come in and immediately, if you wanted to, you could go there in your head and say, you know what, that person is this. All of a sudden you start labeling people. Or if you know something about somebody, it's easy to do. Am I not speaking truth? And it's sincere. It's real. It's honest. It's open before God, saying, here I am, Lord. I know I ain't perfect, but use me because you are. I fear the Lord. I'm not perfect, but you are. A lot of times as believers, we count ourselves out when God has counted us in. I've been too bad. I've been a naughty Christian, for lack of a better word. God can't use me. That's a lie, and that's not fearing the Lord, and that's not the beginning of wisdom. If that were the case, I'd have no business being in this pulpit. It ain't about you. Never was. It's about Him.
That's right.
Don't let circumstance and situations and arguments dictate how you choose to be effective for Christ. You take a hit and you're still standing. You take another hit and you're still standing because you're standing on the rock, that unshakable rock that cannot be moved.
That's right.
Fear in the Lord. Lord, I am planted here on this rock and I will not be moved.
That's right.
Let the rain come. Let the storms come. Let people come and criticize and ridicule. Lord God, I'm going to operate like you're going to have me to operate because I'm standing on the rock. And I know who you are. I know what your word says. And I believe it. I'm going to speak it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be it. Because of Him. Nothing to do with me or you. It's about being honest, open, and understanding that He is holy.
That's right.
He is holy. Worthy is the Lamb. He is holy. And to the believer, He's made you holy.
Amen.
And to the world, you have an opportunity to be holy.
Amen.
Because of Christ. Not because you come to church 3-4 times a week. Not because you're the pastor. Not because you do good things. He is holy. So does that mean, well, God, I'm glad you're holy. We all know I ain't. So I'm just going to sit back and, I'm just going to ride it out to the rapture. I'm going to ride it out until, we go home someday. Is that what we're supposed to do?
No.
1 Corinthians chapter 2. For I determined not to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. I choose to know nothing else in this world except Jesus Christ and Him crucified, the rock of my salvation. That no matter what comes my way, that you have given me the spirit, the strength to overcome anything. Not only to be overcomers, but then to go on the offensive against the enemy. Whether you're a servant, whether you're a prophet, whatever your role is in the kingdom. You say, well, I don't know what my role is. You have a role. You have a purpose. You have a destiny. If you're newly saved here today. What's your role? But you do have a purpose, and don't let the enemy lie to you. Say, oh, that's good now. We'll just wait till I go to heaven and see Jesus. No, He's giving you the power now. On this side Either the whole word is true or it's not. And I tell you today, it's true.
Amen.
It is true. Every word of it is true.
Amen.
How are you going to choose to operate? How are you going to choose to be in a conflict? Are you going to bring resolution from heaven? Or are you going to get in the way in your emotions and circumstance and let it dictate to your reaction? Never ends well when you don't act right. I choose to know nothing else except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. And I was with you, and this is Apostle Paul, and I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom. Do not stand up here before you today as a man with strong words or enticing words. I'm probably not the most eloquent preacher you've ever heard in your life. In fact, I was just stuttering a little bit ago. You see, that kind of stuff, like after I leave here, that stuff nags at me. You'd be surprised. I'll just be laying there and be like, like slap myself in the head. Big dope. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom. It wasn't because of Paul in and of himself, but in the demonstration of the Spirit and of power.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
As a Christian, you're fearless because of Christ.
Amen. Amen.
The power that you possess is from heaven. The promises that were given to you are yes and amen. It's true. It's true. Well, God didn't, see right here, God says that, raised from the dead and everybody's going to be healed. And no. Regardless of how God chooses to move in your life, you trust Him.
That's right.
You trust Him. I prayed for nothing else that my father would be healed. But the reality is, we all got to go at some time. The thing that I struggle with is how young he was. But the hardest prayer that I had to pray was, Lord, whatever your will is, I trust you.
Amen.
I want him here. Lord, it don't seem fair in the natural. There was Ray getting in the way. As a believer, you're not allowed the excuse of, I'm only human. You're not. You can't have an incorruptible seed and say, I'm only human. Don't use that as an excuse. Let God flow through you. Speak His name wherever you go. Regardless of how you feel, but hardest prayer. And I'm sure a lot of you had to pray that with your family members. Lord, I don't understand. I mean, he's a, faithful man of God for years. He's got a wife, kids that ain't raised. Lord, it don't make sense. Lord, I'm angry, I told him. Which is not a stretch for me. But it's true. Lord, I don't get it. But after I got done giving my heart and sharing with God how I was feeling, I said, Lord, but I trust you.
That's right.
There was a part of me that didn't even want to say that, if you get honest. But I trust you. Because, Lord, I fear you. The healthy fear.
Yeah.
That you're capable, Lord God, of anything. That you must know what you're doing. So I'm going to get out of the way regardless of how I feel.